What's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Pat Bernard. We are live. We are back. The attack in third is ready to rock and roll. And woo! Listen, it's been a little bit of transformation. We have changed locations. We are now part of the StreamPunk Entertainment, and yeah, it's been great stuff. You know, we made the change. We're over here now, and I thank everyone who supported us in the last couple of weeks, wondering where we've been and all those good things. But yeah, we are back. We're live. We're talking Union soccer as normal. The attack and there we are going to continue this thing, and it's been a pleasure. So Steve, you know, we are new to this network. Steve, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing good. Doing good. You got to see you've been busy down there covering the Union too. I know, and their nice run that they've been on in the MLS Next Pro playoffs. Um, Big shout out to Edge of Philly Sports and everything that they helped me with, helped you with to get here, and now we have a new home over here, StreamPunk Entertainment. Thank you so much, JD, to Scott. Really getting the wheels rolling, getting us over here and getting us situated, getting the attack in third in a new home, and definitely happy to be continuing doing the show with you into next season. I know we got some new ideas for next season, so that'll be a lot of fun with JD and Kyle, you and myself. So looking forward to it. I know I need a little break from the way the season ended. Pretty rough.
Yeah, and listen, and again, I want to say thank you to Edge of Philly Sports. You know, um, two great years with Edge of Philly Sports, and I got to give kudos first and foremost. I got to give kudos to that front office with the Big Al. He really really helped me out a lot with getting to know the media side um, of everything, and got to know a lot of beat reporters. That's the reason why I'm here. Because of me getting to get to talk to JD and make so many good friends in that press box. So I got to credit those guys a lot. But yeah, let's get started because the Philadelphia Union were like you said a demise, and really it felt like not a breath of a breath of fresh air the way that the tail end of the season came down. You know,
Yeah.
you lost to Orlando, you lost to Columbus, you lost to Cincy, and really since the DC game, there was really no life in this team. I mean, even against Atlanta, it was a 1-1 game, and nothing really. And kudos to Atlanta, who play a really solid defensive game. But I mean, this Union team really didn't have an answer. I thought for sure the three-headed monster were going to go off after that DC game, and no, it came to a halt, and it sucks because the Union fans really had nothing to cheer for. I know you've been frustrated with this team coming down the stretch. Three golden opportunities for this team to make clinch a playoff spot, and they let the playoffs fall through their hands. I mean, really, you have no excuses for this team. I mean, you can't blame international play. You can't blame not having your all-star goaltender there. You can't blame not having your three most productive players in Gazdag and Mikel Ua and Ty Barivo. I mean, when it was time to check in and cash in, those guys didn't show up, and it is what it is, and stuff like that's going to hurt you. But I remember you and I checking this out and saying, you know what, we're being optimistic. We're thinking, this
Yeah.
team, other than Miami, okay, we can make a run. And no, they're just not good enough. And they showed you they weren't good enough. So, Steve, I'm going to go to you. Again, you kind of touched on it. Your feelings for this team.
I I don't think it was for a lack of effort from the players. I think they went out there and they gave it their all. Minus maybe the last like 20 minutes of the Cincinnati game. Because they were just that own goal by Glesnes was it was deflating. You could see the life come out of the stadium, come out of the players. I mean, even the look on Glesnes' face was almost just like you got to be shitting me right now. Like, are you kidding? This just happened to me again. But I think it ultimately comes down to every other team throughout the MLS had proven veteran bench players or proven veteran starters that could get them out of situations where, hey, we're just not, someone needs to take over. All right. We know who to go to, on other teams where we have guys that do that. But when it's not their night, Burton didn't have really anyone he could turn to on the bench and go, all right, hey, I know it's earlier than we normally put you in, but we need a spark. You tried to do that a few times with Sullivan, and he had a great season. But for what the Union needed, it just wasn't enough. He needed to be that spark for the last 60, 25 minutes, not him needing to be the spark the whole damn game. He's too young for that. He's way above his years in his IQ, but at moments you could just tell he wanted to take over the game himself, and he's not there yet to be able to do it. And I think it just came down to star quality at the end of the day. Other teams had it. They went out and they spent the money for those players, and those teams are in the playoffs right now competing. You saw it. You mentioned it. The last tail end of the stretch of the season, you had Cincinnati, you had Orlando, you had Columbus. You had games where you were in this 2-1, 3-2, 2-1. It's just missing that one player to get them over that hump, and I think that's what the biggest question is going to be in the offseason is who those players are, because there's going to be players that are leaving.
Well, we know one player is not leaving. That's Mr. Sullivan. He ain't going anywhere. He just got a contract extension, and look, rightfully so, because we know what he can do. We know he can stretch the field. He's a speedy guy, and it helps out tremendously with this franchise. It's funny, like you said, it depends who's going to stay, who's going to go, and like I said, we are catching up on from last. We were posted. We are transitioning to a new home. And my thing is, when I look at this Union team and the style play, again, just kind of flattened out. And like you said, matter of fact, Cincinnati, you were up already. You were up early, and you let it fall through your fingertips. I mean, a golden opportunity to make it into the playoffs. You had, Atlanta wasn't doing anything. Montreal wasn't doing anything. Montreal, this was DC didn't do anything against Charlotte. This was your golden opportunity. This is you to punch in your golden ticket. And you fell. And to me, there's got to be repercussion for that. I mean, tremendous. You made a great story through the tail end of the summer. Great. Ty Bariba was just being a beast. But coming down the stretch, you guys flattened out. And like you said, when you have talent like Miami, like Cincinnati, like Columbus, like Orlando, when you have talent, bought talent, you could punch in your ticket and not sweat. This team thrives on homegrown talent. Homegrown talent. This is what this team does. They don't go to purchase. They don't dig in their pockets and try to, invest in bringing somebody over. They look for minor moves. They look for pieces that can fit without spending tons of cash or make some variable trades. And that's it. They will never go out of their pockets. And I love it. And they're beautiful. Those soccer fields are beautiful when you look at it. But those soccer field money, those practice facilities, we're talking about practice. Those practice facilities we could have been invested in some talent. But that's just how the Union think. And this is why they are limited to their success, because when you don't spend money on top tier players, you're only going to get, this is why the Yankees have been successful for so many years. That's a proven, commodity of a franchise that's always buying talent. They bring in Anthony Rizzo from the Cubs. We don't do that here. We just rely on homegrown talent. And kudos to the Ty Baribas that came out of nowhere. But this is what
Yeah.
we need. We need to buy talent, and we don't have it here. So,
And
but again,
kudos to the Union 2 guys. It's great that where they're at. It's nice to see that part of the union at least excelling and proving that like our farm system works, but that can't be the ultimate answer. You have to go out and spend some sort of money. I think right now they have the second to last payroll in MLS. So there's really no excuse. I think it's like at 13 million that they've spent. So you have some clubs. I mean, there's like a 40 million, $60 million gap between what other clubs are spending to what the union are spending.
right.
And it's fun to see. It's nice to see. Like I keep saying, the union too and what they're doing. But if your goal is to win MLS Cup or MLS Pro Next Pro championships, then hey, then that's the answer. But it's ultimately it can't be, right? So you got a fan base who is questioning the direction of the club right now, and it's going to be a hard off season, I think.
And when I look at this team, it's really, if you're trending, you're just trending to be the next Flyers. Like that's a bad thing to have because listen, for so much, this team just had that team has no direction. Like, and you just said it, like we are trending with no direction, just based off your homegrown, sell tickets, and shoot for a stars with homegrown talent and go from there. But the problem is, at some point, we're the flea market. You know what I mean? There's going to be other
Yeah.
clubs out there, bigger clubs, the Premier Leagues that they look at the union and go, "I'll take that. I'll take that." Julian Carranza, I will take him.
Yeah.
JD Martinez, I will take him. Jose Martinez,
Yeah.
I'll take him. And then you are left
Damian Lowe.
with Damian Lowe, and we'll take
Yep.
him. And then you guys can figure out from there. So and again, kudos to that U2 team. We are going to talk about in a little bit because those kids are making some noise here in Philadelphia, turning a red October to a blue October. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for what this team is and where it's going. Again, no really dogfight. Um, into the tail end of the season. And again, the first thing that's people are going to blame are Jim Curtin and so forth. And, this, that, and the third. Like, there should be more opportunity here. There should have been. This team should have went on a run. We all felt, especially you blow out DC 4-0 at home. Okay, this team, and then you played a tough, Atlanta team that's kind of we're like, all right, well they're known for their defense. They're known to shut down. All right, I'll let that one go. All right, well, we'll bounce back on the road. They're a better road team. Kai Wagner
Yeah.
being saying that this team is better on the road. We took his word. We did, the proof was in the pudding, and nothing. I mean, you let, like I say, the golden goose out of the barn. I mean, you had the golden opportunity to make a run here, and three opportunities, and the third time was a strike, and nothing at home. Again, you're at home, you're on your front of your home fan base, and you let your fans down. And to me, like I said, there should be a consequence paid for that. There should be someone let go. There should be, like I said, the one guaranteed contract is Sullivan. Other than that, no one's here to stay. And I'm hoping they and again, just being optimistic, them turning something around, them making a big splash. But no, I guarantee you they won't. They won't turn anything around. They're just going to sit there on their own hands, and it's going to be minor moves. And again, it's going to be just a repeat process. And luckily, they have the union loyalists out there who are going to stick by the team no matter what. Through the good times and bad. But man, if people open their eyes, man, they're going to wind up seeing empty seats.
One of the most frustrating stats that I keep looking back to is from Montreal at the 8th seed all the way down, except for the Union. Every single club is minus goal differential. The Union finished the season +7 in goals, in goal differential.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the only team, I believe, in all of MLS that didn't make the playoffs with plus goal differential. So to me, that tells you what defense you got to get your right and left back, center backs. You got to get those. You got to get depth there.
Right.
Too many times Harriel was placed in or played in positions where it wasn't his natural position. And it came down depth. And yeah, you mentioned international play a few times, and I really feel like the way that the season ended and where they were, I mean, they were in prime position regardless. I mean, if you don't have some of those injuries that they had, I mean, everybody deals with that international window. It sucks that the Union have that many individual players from other countries that they can represent. I mean, it's good and it's bad, but um, that's the most frustrating part is looking at the table and seeing all that red, and then bam, the Union sitting in 12th place in the Eastern Conference with a +7 goal differential. And the first time since 2017, no playoffs. And I think that's something too that hurts. That's a long time. That's a good amount of stretch to be making the playoffs. And then to have a season like this, I mean, roller coaster of a season. I know it's such a cliche word to use for a
But
season, but it really was from the Pachuca game, losing 6-0 in Champions Cup to a raccoon on the field to you had great individual seasons. You had franchise record breaking seasons from Kai, from
right.
Gazdag. Sullivan had a 10 goals, 10 assists season. Ua really came into shape and form once Carranza left. You had Ty Baribo, he had that stretch. Seeing guys like Harriel and McGlynn be able to step up and play for the United States country during the Olympics, it felt like something was missing for all those great individual performances to click and work together to make something special. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you say that because you mentioned all those things and it piled out to be nothing. And you want to know why? Because you said
Yeah,
it at the top of your speech. Your defense was just lackluster. I mean, Elliott
yeah,
looked confused at times. He looked out of place. Again, not responding to anyone else than Andre Blake. And there's been so many times I looked at him, watching him on the field. I'm like, what are you doing? What
yeah,
are you doing? And it was very frustrating to watch him on the field. I mean, and it sucked. It sucked. I mean, if you look, again, we're looking at the season in a whole. I mean, granted, I mean, I blamed a lot of that defense. And like last night, you look at this Union 2 team, Mr. Captain Rick himself said, look at, the my job is easier because one thing about Marvin LeBlanc's defense, they take away scoring opportunities from the opposition.
yeah,
They make it hard for you to try and shoot. I mean, as soon as you look like you're ready, there is somebody on the rush to block and make a credible stop where you can't make a shot. So it's hard for you to do that. So it really does suck for the opposition to move forward. But like I said, the that's the difference from the Marvin LeBlanc defense. I mean, he has everyone bought into that defense. Again, it makes Andre Rick's job a lot easier. And then like I said, they don't penetrate really good on offense. They really actually get their defense gets more tested on as far as Union 2. Their defense gets more tested early than their offense, but like I said, their
yeah.
defense will shut you down, and it's puzzling for their opposition, which gives the opportunity to the Union 2. But yeah, let's talk about a little bit of that Union 2 because I found a Rottweiler a rockwaller there, Steve. His name is Chris Alney Jr. CJ Alney Jr. This kid is a monster. I mean, three straight games at home where he's come up clutch. I mean, you had the regular ending season game of him stepping up against Atlanta, him coming up last week against NYCFC two, and then obviously last night against Crown Legacy. In PKs, he came out clutch. He said he knew what he was going to go with the ball and find the back of the net. So again, he's the reason why the Union Two are advancing. I mean, straight home games, 6 straight games for this Union Two since September 15th, where they've won by 1 goal differential, and part of it is because of Chris Alney Jr. Because of the stuff he's doing. He's making magic happen, and now this team is actually. Good morning, Mitch. What's up, buddy? This team is actually going to see a conference finals because of Marvin's defense, because of the way the Union's playing soccer right now. This is great. I love it.
Yeah.
And
No, and I think go ahead. My bad.
No, and it's all because I see a dog inside this, CJ Alney. I see a dog written all over him. Like he wants it. This team wants it, but more so, what the face that stands above them all is CJ Alney.
100%. And I think some of that, those minutes he got, and some of those call ups to play with the big boys with the Union at home in front of a crowd, like what you can get for Union games versus what you can get for Union 2 games. Frankie Westfield had that experience as well. Obviously, Cavan, and the confidence that I think that does to just be able to, in your head say, wow, I got a call up from the academy team to the MLS team. Like, this is like, look at this. Whether or not you get on the field, and CJ, he did get on the field. And I think those things for what they can do for your mental ego, you need an ego. You need to have some sort of persona, to be able to make it in professional sports. It's about how you maintain that ego. And the kid's got such a good head on his shoulders. And, I've seen it in the interviews that you've done and some of the other that Jillian and Kyle do. He knows the game. He is far above his years in his IQ, and just like what you said, he knew where he was going. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, or questioning. It was that confidence in, I'm going to put it there. They're not going to be able to save it, and we're going to go to the next round. And it's, they're really playing for something. And I think they saw what was going on with the Union this season, and they're like, hey, we're here. We're doing something. What the Bridge Brigade has done for the fan base down there in creating their little the supporter section that they've created. It was small, and it's grown into, they got that whole entire side covered with their logo and the fun things they do with the hugs, the little juice things. And it's been really fun to see for what the Union 2, the road that they've been able to do.
And it's funny, like and again, like you and I have covered Union 2, and be honest, it's you and a couple other people in that press box. But now, they're making noise, and like last night, it felt like a regular season Union get matchup because Jose's in there, the Todd father was in there, Jillian and Kyle. They usually do a great job covering Union 2. They've been coming along, but they're in there. A lot of great faces. You want to be, again, that's in there. I mean, everyone's getting back into realm. And last night during the press conference, even John Tetherwell was in there as far as the Zoom calls, and Kyle. You got to see the family. Yeah, so the family is back. So Jimmy Rave, every one of those guys. or was in the press box. So again, the crowds are getting bigger. So again, it's eye popping, And one thing here in Philly, everyone loves a winner. So
Yeah.
call it what it is. I mean, you start winning, it starts raising eyeballs. And listen, everyone here in Philly wants to see a winner, wants to see a championship, and you felt empty, right? Because there was supposed to be this guaranteed promise of Red October that fell apart. The Union didn't even it fell apart in October, but Marvin LeBlanc and his team have turned this around. And these are puppies. Some of these guys are not even 18, not even
Yeah.
16, and these guys are got that attitude, have it. So and listen, I love Mr. Curtin, but I want to raise the question: how much longer do you have with Marvin LeBlanc? And should you give him an opportunity? Maybe as an assistant coach somewhere. How much opportunity? How much longer is he going to be here?
No, 100%. That's like I don't even feel like that's a hot take sort of question. I feel like that is a spot on, serious question because the connection, it's not just his coaching, the X and O's, it's his coaching and mentoring in life. That just talking to him and listening to him in the press conferences, you can tell what he's trying to create with this club and with these kids. And like you said, how long until an actual head coaching position opens up in the MLS where now he's getting pulled to go coach, the grown-ups, the bigger guys in MLS. And nothing against Curtin, like you said. It's been great here. But when something and is knocking at your door and peeking over your shoulder like that, does that come into play with how you coach? And is that why some of these decisions on who he played or not switching to his away from his diamond formation, sort of deal? You're gonna have to do something different. And I don't think it's a crazy thing to say that Marlon could easily do what Curtin was doing in more. I think some players like Jesus Bueno probably get a little bit more run if Marlon's there because of seeing the potential in players from the academy. I think sometimes you lose that as a coach, like what Curtin has been dealing with. But I like it. I wouldn't mind the move. Sometimes you need a big change like that. Maybe that's the big splash and the big change that they need.
I mean, listen. I mean, it looks like to me Marvin LeBlanc is a defensive minded coach, right? I mean, and what was his team lacking? Also, defense,
Defense.
defensive play. I mean,
Yep.
I think a guy like him, and trust me, he looks all nice during his post game press conferences. Don't let that fool you. I've
Mm-mm.
seen this man. Looks like there was steam coming through his ears. I've seen
On the
it
sidelines.
on the
Yep.
sidelines. I mean, he doesn't tolerate nonsense. I mean, and you want to talk about someone who does their homework on their opponent? Like he said last night, like he can hit you what he feels like it's opposing for. He makes the right adjustments. He makes all those moves. So this guy again making splash in the Philadelphia sports. I've said this. I know. People think I'm kidding around or might not take it that serious, but to me, he's the Philadelphia head coach of the year. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. I mean, Nick Sirianni pooped the bed early this year. Rob Thompson, great regular season run. That means nothing.
Yeah.
Again, now your expectations were a World Series run, pooped. Uh,
Yep.
We all know this. The Sixers and Flowers kind of in this up and down length. Not ready, but again, where there was no, and again, of course, our lacrosse team weren't making expectations, but this guy, Marvin LeBlanc. I mean, if Philadelphia loves defense, this guy fits the bill. Marvin LeBlanc
Absolutely.
fits the bill. I mean, I could see him with that one team and turning things around and making a better player of Elliott and making a better player of Glazas, shutting down people. That's the guy. There should have been some kind of conversation between him and Jim, unless it's just, hey, listen, you run your show, I'll run mine. And we don't know all that stuff behind the curtain, but no pun intended. But,
I was gonna say no pun intended, right?
no pun intended. But, he does a great job with those teams. But listen, um, it's been a great show as far as our first debut. Hey, what's up, Adam? Good to see you, my man. And of course, Adam is me and him were talking last night, and you want to talk about a fan that's got his eyebrow raised, and he wants to go down. He wants to check out some of the action. So he just immediately after the game was texting me, "When's the next game?" I mean, it's caught his eye. So I told him Saturday, it's TBA. You have to get the winner of Chicago and Columbus too right now. The winner of that will come to Subaru Park. They haven't given a time yet, but it will be Saturday. So, fans, keep your eyes posted. Come on down. It's a great atmosphere, not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah,
Trust me.
yep.
I love being down there. This is, again, people said, and knock on me, right? I'm the guy that said, tell Jim Curtin, give Andrew Rick a try. He said that's a bold move, right? Which looked to be the joke of the room. But within 2 days, my man was on that, was in there filling in the gap. So
He's got he's got a nominee for goal or save of the year for MLS save of the year with that
right.
one where he came back and he scooped it away. So I mean, like you said, bold take at the time, but look what it turned out to be. JD.
Jenny, what's up, my dude? Good morning, folks. Big YouTube win yesterday. Yes, happy to have you guys a part of the StreamPunk family
Absolutely.
now. JD, listen, again, this is where I got to give credit to the Edge of Philly sports family because they got me involved, got us both involved as far as media credentials and covering. And JD is like a brother to me. And of course, and now I'm glad that JD took us in. He opened the door for us. And we promised to
Absolutely.
make a
Yep.
big splash here with the StreamPunk Entertainment. And guys, listen, one more thing before we roll out. Guys, calm down. Come down to Subaru Park this Saturday. Philly is only 2 matches away from holding a trophy. 2 matches. Think about that. So come on down, check out all the action. Check out, like I said, you like defense, you'll appreciate Marvin LeBlanc's mind. That's where he's at. He is a defensive side of mind. Guys, like I said, I won't be surprised if one of these clubs take a look at him and take a shot. Like I'm going to say, maybe the Chicago's of the world, or
Yeah.
so one of these bottom feeding teams that didn't have a shot at making it. Maybe they look at him and, hey, listen, money talks. So hey, listen, you can run our team one. We're going to pay you extremely well. We want you to turn. We love what you did there in Philly. So, and we know Jim's not going to go nowhere for a long time. So, I would be, it's only a matter of time before someone, fishes him out.
Yep.
So, Steve, what's your go away take?
Before my go away take, I do want to say our thoughts and prayers are going out with the Trent family and the loss of Holden Trent. Very, very sad news. It probably was weighing heavily on the guys yesterday. So that definitely that win was for Holden, but thoughts and prayers to the Trent family and very, very, very sad and unfortunate. So my takeaway from all this is almost like what JD said. This their record in this season, it said their record said it all. Only 37 points, +7 in the goal differential. It said everything to not be able to make the playoffs, and all you have to do is look at that table and see. You look at that final goal of the season that ended up being an own goal from Glesnes, and that is your Union season in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the offseason brings some sort of big news, some sort of big splash regardless if it's a hiring change or head coaching change, or if there's a big name player coming in. But there has to be something that needs to be done in the offseason that isn't just, well, Cavin's getting more minutes now. Quinn's going to get more minutes now. There's Frankie and CJ had a great Union 2 run, so they're going to get more minutes now. There's got to be a bigger answer. Kai said it, I believe, in his frustration at the end of the season. There's got to be a better veteran presence. So that's what I'm looking for this offseason.
All right, guys. Well, listen, we're going to wrap up the program. Again, first episode of the Attack and Third on our brand new network of StreamPunk Entertainment, guys. Stay tuned, 9 o'clock. Me and my brand new mystery tag team partner will be doing a show. So, guys, stay tuned to that because I got something up my sleeve here. So, guys, Stay tuned. StreamPunk Entertainment will be coming to you guys live right after this. Patrick Bernard Show. Here we go.